Hello Scorpio, and welcome to your November Insights video. So we're doing things slightly differently this month. Instead of me talking you through the ebb and flow of the lunar cycle like I usually do, this month we're going to focus on the major shifts that are happening in the cosmos of Jupiter leaving your sign and heading into Sagittarius, of the nodes shifting, of Uranus heading back into Aries. So I've decided that we'll talk about these because they will support you on your journey through the next 13 and 18 month cycles, rather than just the 4 weeks like we usually talk about in these connections. So let's talk about Jupiter first, the great benefic of our zodiac, king of the gods, coming back into his home space of Sagittarius. So since last October, Jupiter has been in your sign, Scorpio, in your first house, and he has been uncovering, asking you to dive even deeper than you normally do, because we know that you are the sign that is, always wanting to go beneath the surface, go into the depths to understand the psychological workings of yourself and everybody else. But this has been an expanded energy with Jupiter here, calling you even deeper into knowing yourself, knowing your motivations, knowing what makes you you. And he will have been shining a light on all of those spaces where you're not feeling comfortable expressing your unique individual self into the world. He will have been highlighting all of those places where you have been trying to hide, trying to cover up your true magnificence, and helping you to really own who you are, because Scorpio is a sign that is related to shadows, to the underworld, which is not always so well received by the collective or understood by the collective. But during Jupiter's transit here, we've all come to understand the power of diving into the depths, the power that you naturally hold, Scorpio. So it's been a real lesson for you in not denying your gifts, not denying your understanding of the subjects that the rest of society might consider dark or taboo, So it's been an interesting time of revelation and expansion as Jupiter moves into the second house of your birth chart. A whole new energy, a whole new cycle of lessons begins for you. The second house is the Taurus, Venus ruled house of abundance, of value, of self-worth, of resources. So of course everybody wants Jupiter, the planet of luck and blessings, in their second house. So this is a really gorgeous transit of opportunity to create more financial structure, more abundance, more prosperity in your life through using your natural gifts and talents. So Jupiter brings us the opportunities. Jupiter offers us the grace, the potential that we can build our expansion upon, but we have to feel worthy of receiving that. We have to feel worthy of accepting what is offered to us before we can act on the opportunity. Because if we don't feel like we are worthy, we will reject, subconsciously sabotage ourselves. So this is a time of really owning your value and knowing your worth, Scorpio. It's a very, very exciting time, and as long as you stick to the Sagittarian principle of following your own truth, following your own wisdom, following those intuitive nudges which you, above all signs, receive, you can truly manifest something spectacular during this 13-month cycle. So I'm very excited for you, my Scorpio, Scorpio rise, Scorpio moon people. So we also have the North Node coming into Cancer. So it's leaving your 10th house, where it has been for the past 18 months, since May 2017, and heading into your 9th house, which is the Sagittarian house of mental expansion, you know, of receiving higher truths, of connection to the cosmos, of luck and synchronicity and destiny. So again, this is a very fortuitous movement. You know, this is a time of great spiritual expansion for you, of seeking higher truth, of seeking higher wisdom and using it to nourish your dreams, nourish your visions, nurture yourself into your potential, Scorpio. The South Node will be leaving Aquarius, will be leaving your 4th house, where it has been over the summer, particularly with Mars retrograde and the big lunar eclipse rocking your foundations. You've been doing so much work, Scorpio, like all of the fixed signs, all of the key points of your chart have been activated, have been shook. You know, you've been through a complete rebirthing, you know, process over the past couple of months, where your home life, your work life, your sense of self and your relationships have all been up for review and change. So as the North Node comes into the 3rd house, he's going to join Pluto and Saturn in Capricorn there. They've been, you know, working this area of your house over for quite some time. Pluto's been here for a long time. Saturn's been here since last winter solstice. So this again is about letting go of those belief systems that keep you small. They might be familiar, they might be rooted in tradition, they might be rooted in conformity, but they aren't serving you. So we're letting go of the connections, letting go of the networks, letting go of the systems that no longer work, and coming into a higher truth, coming into soul freedom, coming into liberation, coming into the biggest, most expanded version of ourselves we can be, Scorpio. On the same day that the node shifts signs, and by the way, we can look back at 2000, 2001, the last time the nodes were in this position, to see themes that might be underlying for you, that might be repeating. And the last time Jupiter was in your 2nd house was 2006. So look back on those years and see what might manifest for you during this period. So Uranus, the storm god, we know, I'm sure you have been well aware, Scorpio, that he has been in your 7th house, your house of relationship and partnership, since May 2015. And this is a time of you coming into authentic truth in your relationships, coming into liberating yourself from old toxic connections, because you are a sign that can get very stagnant in your relationship. Sometimes you might hold on to things and people much longer than you should, and Uranus has been shaking all that up, saying, come on, liberate yourself, this isn't working. And that's not just your romantic and intimate relationships, but also your family, business associations, friendships. You know, you've really been called to make some changes. So now Uranus is going back into Aries, Mars' sign, where he was between 2011 and 2017, up to May 2017. And this is your house of routine, of structure, the Virgo house, the house of, you know, your day-to-day work, your day-to-day duties, obligations, service work, health, well-being. And this can, you know, this is one of the houses which deals with all of the mundane things that we have to deal with when we are in a human body, with all of the things that we have to, you know, discipline ourselves to really take care of if we are going to be successful and manifest the life that we would wish to live. You know, it's one of the houses that asks us, you know, how are we organising ourselves? How are we using our time and energy? Are we being the most effective, most efficient that we can be? So with Uranus here, you know, things can be shook up. You know, perhaps you'll realise there are some routines that aren't serving you. Perhaps there are some mental patterns and beliefs that you are needing to detoxify from. We're going backwards. We're going to check back to see that we really mastered liberation in these areas of our lives, that these areas of our lives are really in alignment with our authentic truth before we can move back into Taurus. You know, before we can start the relationship work again, we have to be sure that we are dealing with the practical areas of our lives. So this can be a time when you might want to make changes in your diet, your routine, your career. This can be a time when you might be interested in learning new healing modalities. This can be a time when you might have to look at your issues of service and sacrifice. We're revisiting the themes of the past 7 years so that we can really progress to the next level of learning as Uranus comes back into Taurus in springtime next year, and he will be in that relationship house till 2026. And of course, you know, we've also got Venus retrograde going on that has been highlighting the lessons of Uranus in Taurus as well. So this is a choice point, Scorpio, around your relationships and what you wish them to be. So dive deep into that during your season. You know, happy birthday to you as well if you're a November Scorpio. And let go. Do what you do best. Let go of the old so that you can regenerate. Let's pick a card for you, Scorpio. These are from the Sacred Rebels Oracle deck by Alana Fairchild, because Uranus is the rebel of the cosmos, and like I've been saying in the videos, these are really great for evolutionary focus. These cards, I really feel, resonate with the energies of where we are at now. So let's pick a card for Scorpio. Interesting. It's the same one as I just picked for Virgo, After the Storm. And this is a card that reminds us that when we are in the storms of life, when we are in the eye of the storm, when we are in the center of chaos and everything is changing, like it could well be for you now, Scorpio, with the Venus retrograding, with Uranus energies, you know, with those foundational areas of your birth chart being shook, Jupiter moving through the final degrees of your sign, the new moon in your sign. You know, you are the focal point of the zodiac right now, and you might find yourself, you know, feeling that intensity, feeling that swirl of emotion, feeling that chaos of change, feeling, you know, like you're wriggling out of the old skin, ready to rebirth, but you're not quite there yet. And this card reminds us that we can never see the purpose of the storm when we're in the center of it. When we are, you know, feeling those deep emotions, when we're feeling the pain of letting go of the old, we can't see the divine plan behind it. You know, we struggle to understand why these things are happening to us. It is only when the storm clears and we can see with fresh eyes that we understood why we had to go through that experience that felt so shocking or painful. So if you are in the middle of a storm, or, you know, a storm does come during this month for you, Scorpio, just know that there is a deeper meaning, a deeper reason. Know that those things that you've been clinging to, that you're having to let go of, are creating space for new to come, because you're manifesting a new sense of purpose, a new sense of destiny now with the shifts of the nodes and the shifts of Sagittarius. So try and be like the owl, be like the winged creatures, rise above and look for the higher perspective, look for the deeper reason behind any difficulties. Thank you so much for listening to me, Scorpio. You can connect with me further through clicking the links below this video if you choose to. I am wishing you a beautiful and blessed November of transformation.